Hello everyone. This tutorial is a little different from any tutorial that I've done and any tutorial that I'm going to do. But the reason for this is just to tell you the one thing that you don't find when you try to find PowerShell tutorials or you're interested about learning how to do something. The one tutorial that no one seems to be doing is the one about how do I do anything in PowerShell. Now, it's this simple. PowerShell is a technology that is heavily covered by Microsoft these days and has been for the last 4 years. PowerShell is only going to get bigger and badder. And if you're starting now, there's a little bit of a learning curve. But at the end of the day, PowerShell is PowerShell. And learning the basics and the fundamentals will always help you no matter what. For instance, right now, I've opened up PowerShell. And I mean, look, I can come down to here, right click, run as administrator, which is what I always do when I do PowerShell. I've opened up PowerShell, and here we go. All right, let's just open this screen for argument's sake. What do I do now? Blue screen? What now? You're completely stumped, aren't you? You're like, well, I want to learn PowerShell, but I don't know what to do and how to do anything. Well, of course, this is how we all start. This is how it is. It's not nothing. There's not any set way that people that learn PowerShell are special. No, they learn just how you are right this minute, right this second, in front of a blue screen. Now, a lot of people that teach PowerShell have learnt other scripting languages or programming languages or command line and been a guru in those kind of technologies. But for the people that really want to learn how to use PowerShell so they can administer or even better understand how Windows is kind of operating under the hood. You're presented with a blue screen, and this is very demoralizing for most people because they get to this and go, oh shit, I don't know what to do now. Oh, sorry for the language, but yeah, I don't know what to do now. What do you do now? What do I do now? I can understand this. So, PowerShell requires patience. You have to be patient. You have to allocate time to learn this. And you're not going to learn this in a week or a month. You're going to learn it in years. But if you're dedicated enough and you keep doing it, you're going to see progress very, very quickly. It's all about how much time you're willing to put into learning this technology. It is hard. It's not easy. It's hard. It's hard because it's foreign. Command line interface for most administrators and most people in the world is foreign. There are other exceptions that people love in the command line interface, and and they're right at home, and that's good and good for them. But for everyone else, this is a challenge in itself. Staring at a blue screen, staring at a black screen. If you're staring at a black screen, which is the command line exe, it was really limited and crappy. I've been there, and it's very good and it works very well, and it has power to it because a lot of times you need to just kind of revert back to some of those DNS command lines, the remoting command line, which I don't use all that much, but I try to use everything in PowerShell, and PowerShell has the capability of actually doing everything. There is those exceptions that it can't do for the older command lines because the commands haven't been written. I'm running Windows 10 version 5, and a lot of those commands now have been covered. But when I started in version 2, there was a lot of commands that weren't invented, which I've invented now. But besides that, I want to say to you that if you really want to get your head around how to learn PowerShell, there's a couple of things you've got to do. Number one is keep doing it. Jump on the command line. Run help. Right? Help is the first thing that you run. You go, okay, this is what help is, and this is what help does. The very next command that you need to run is get command. Now, this is all the commands that are on this operating system, right? And there is a help file attached to all these hundreds of commands, right? Like, if I was to go help, let's just look at NetAdapter, right? NetAdapter, which is networking, is a very, very critical thing to understand and learn and be good at, because if you can learn that, you can do a lot of things. So we go net, right? That's the help file on anything that's got net in it. Get command, net. That's all the net command or get command, net. And they're all the commands that have net in it. Now let's choose one. Let's choose one that you'll actually start to learn straight off the bat. This one. Right? So we'll go clear, we'll go help, get net adapter. And there are options. There's full, there's detailed, and there is examples, I think. Examples? Yeah. But always do the full on help, because it gives you all the examples, all the details, like it's full. It's the full help. It's full everything. It's not just a cut down version of the help. When you're learning, when you are learning how to do anything in PowerShell and you want to learn a command and learn all its parameters and the syntax and, you know, the way to use it in some of the what do you call it, the examples, use full. Example 1, get net adapter name star. What's that going to do? And this is what you need to do. This is the only way that you're going to learn how to use PowerShell and become comfortable. Just keep doing it. Query, go through the get command. Get command is your friend. And list, and then with all those commands that will run, choose commands. Do the help. Help, whatever command, full, and learn the command, and then practice the command. Look at the detailed examples, look at the way that they run it, and play with it. That is the only way, and the only way that you are going to learn how to use it by yourself. Now, I want to show you that there are a couple of books that have helped me learn PowerShell. I mean, I was just like anybody. I started it with a blue screen and going, what the hell do I do now? You know? So I've got a folder here with a couple of good ways to actually start. And this one here by Don Jones, Learn PowerShell 3 in a Month of Lunches, is really, without any ambiguity of any type of resource, is the best way to start. Because Don Jones, in my opinion, is one of the best PowerShell users on the planet. He is absolutely fantastic. He's so good in the way that he teaches. I recommend, if you want to learn, this is the route you take. Get this book. Learn Windows PowerShell 3 in a Month of Lunches. It's a very good place to start. And in this book, I'll even open the book up for you, so that you have some idea of how it starts. I mean, there's a big menu. Before you begin, meet PowerShell. I mean, there is an in-depth way, and it goes through all the things that you need to know with a basic, fundamental way to learn PowerShell. I guarantee by the time you get to the end of this book, you're going to feel very confident. You're going to feel like, wow, man, I know so much. I need to go further. I need to learn more. And if that's the case, and you get really good at this, and you master all the commands and all the examples and everything he asks you to do in the labs, that's great. That's progress. You're getting better. Then you can turn to his next book. This one's tool making. It's a little harder because there's a lot more scripting involved, but it is absolutely fabulous in teaching you how to learn the syntax. And you do use the ISE, which is the PowerShell scripting environment. I'll just open up for you right now. This over here, let's just get rid of that, start new. This is the ISE. This is where it has IntelliSense. IntelliSense is awesome. If you want to go get, see how it says get what? What do you want to get? And then you need to go to S. It will start narrowing everything down to S, and then I want service, so I go SE and SR, and look, there's get service, and then and once you get to the point where you know what you want, and that's what it does. And then what's the parameter? Well, now you can go parameters, which is name WinRM. And then I want to save that, which means it wants to save somewhere locally on your computer. Look, it's documents. Let me just put it on the desktop. I'm using Windows 10, by the way. We'll just call this tests.ps1. You don't even have to put PS1. You just put test and it'll do it for you automatically. But I just do it anyway because okay. So, anyways, and now this little green button here that you see, that's run script. And that's what it does. It will run the get service of WinRM. If I was to get rid of this and just blank that out, save that, clear the screen, that little brush, I don't know, kind of like a squeegee. I suppose it's a squeegee. Looks like a squeegee. This windscreen squeegee. That clears. So that's a clear command. That's a run command. That's a run selection command. If you have multiple commands, you can run a selection. Like you can highlight it and then just press that, and it'll just run that line that you nominate. But I'm just going to do that now. So I've cleared that, and let's just run it. So now it's get service. You can probably see that box down the bottom here. I don't know how far this camera's gone, but that's the get service. So that's the ISE, and this is a great tool. Another way is to use something called show command, which I've never used, and people in Microsoft swear by it. I find it a little confusing to use, actually. The best way to learn parameters and what you can use really is do the help. Get service, all right? Let's start with get service. So we'll come down to using, no, that's my car. That's not my car, but that's what my car looks like, by the way. That's why I've got a desktop shortcut. If you go to here, let's start a fresh window, and I go help get service. GSV is get service. It's just an alias, okay? But I could have run that, and that's just a long way of doing it. Full get service. You go through all the stuff. All the way up the top here. Get service, dash computer name, and read the help. And this is how you learn. And look at the example. Example 1. Example 2. Get service WMI. What's example 3? Get service display name network. Well, let's even try that. Get. Oh, sorry, I'm so used to using GSV that I can hardly even type it. Name. What was it? Network. Something to do with the networks. WMP network service. So, in a nutshell, this is how you learn PowerShell. I've given you a resource, which is Don Jones with Learn PowerShell in the Monthly Lunches, version 3. It's old, but still very valid because PowerShell still runs all those commands, and PowerShell 5 has a ton more more commands. I mean, but don't be like overwhelmed by that. Just do that. Learn the PowerShell syntax because that hasn't changed. It's the same thing. It's the same. It's the same syntax it's always been and always will be. All they're doing now is adding more. But you don't need to be overwhelmed by the fact that there's so much more that you need to know. If you learn the fundamentals, it's the best way to teach yourself. And once you learn how PowerShell actually is and works, it doesn't matter how many commands there are or what they add to it. You'll just learn it and you'll understand it. So I hope this has helped. I'm truly here trying to help people that really find it difficult to learn PowerShell. I understand. I was there once, and it's really difficult to start from nowhere and not know what to do. But the help is there. Use the help. The help has so much information. If you was to read the help and all the commands, you would learn PowerShell anyway. But take advantage of those books. Do what people have already done for you and gone through all that learning curve, and they've broken it down and put it into such an easier format for us to learn. And that's how I learned. I didn't learn through the help files. I learned that way first, which was a book, and then it taught me how to learn the help files. I hope this has been informative, and I just hope that you guys persist with it and just keep PowerShelling, you know, keep going, and you'll get there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next.